Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you may be in the world of darkness. This is a scene for Hong Kong by night. The Emerald
House of
Mother
Cards.
venue.
It was
Uh,
specifically not Hong Kong by Night,
uh,
because Hong Kong by
oh,
Night's a terrible book.
oh, sorry, it's the Hong Kong House of Cards venue.
Yeah,
Uh,
I went out
well,
of my way not to call it that.
Hong Kong House of Cards. Uh, the Emerald Mother edition, the crossover venue for all for the Hong Kong. Tonight, we find Serena Novak going through and
Yeah, Serena.
trying to
Yeah,
go ahead.
Serena's going to have some trouble with the bouncer by the time Riker gets there because she's going to be arguing. Look, the whole point of this is that I have to sell these. I know they're weapons, but I have to sell these.
Riker will come up to the door and like, I'm sorry, Miss Novak. You can come with me.
Thank
He
you, and
looks at
she'll glare at the
he'll
bouncer.
yeah, he'll look at sirloin of beef and say, "She's with me. I called her. She's actually trying to sell them, not use them."
Yeah, thank you. And she'll glare at Sirloin and head on in. Sorry, I am just way too sober to deal with that kind of bureaucracy right now.
It's quite all right. I'll actually have the bartender bring in some whiskey.
No, I don't want to handle these things drunk. I don't want to be sober and I don't want to handle these things drunk.
Okay, and he'll, as we come up to the door of the office, he'll open the door and hold it open for you
All right, and
because
she'll
more than
she'll
likely
walk
you'll have.
inside. She's got a briefcase tucked under her arm.
Okay. He will then go in, close the door, and lock it, and then cast chicanery one on the room.
And Serena will, not knowing what you're doing, is going to use forces 2 to change on the outside of the room to make it on the door to make it so anyone listening in will hear all sounds replaced with wah 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 wah.
All of a sudden, it doesn't even do that.
Well, it's
When
doing
I
opposing effects.
Yeah, once I get my dice
Yeah,
turned up, anyways.
you're affecting people's minds, and I'm making the actual sounds to that.
It doesn't really contradict it because
Yeah,
affecting people's minds just goes.
exactly. Yeah, it's like,
Uh,
okay, I will now use all of my magic to peer through your effect. And now, why are they talking like they're adults from Peanuts?
Burn disclaimer and a willpower, and I'm glad I did that because that is still at least two successes with House I Learned. Thank you.
Yep. So 2 successes
Um,
there.
uh,
You're good.
uh, unless I would say it's at least banality four in here
Serena
stupidity and
is Serena is currently banality 6 because she's not drunk.
yeah, and this is technically still his freehold, so it's like banality four in here.
Yeah.
So, I would say it's banality four in here, so it's like so it's still at least three
Yeah.
with the
Anyhow,
willpower.
so she runs her little sciencey probe over the door, and she goes, "Okay, we're clear." Not knowing what you're doing.
Oh, right. He'll step behind his desk and sit down and gesture. So, what do you have? I
All
heard
right.
you have something for the triad.
She's gonna put she's gonna put down the briefcase and she's gonna open it up. And you know what snip foam is?
Enlightening, because
Well,
I
it's
don't really.
you get it for tabletop miniatures games so that you can put your minis in a foam case, even if they're regularly shaped. It's a grid of foam that you can cut out with scissors, and she's got a snip foam in this case holding these things. And there's
Okay.
12 football-sized sciencey grenades is the only way to describe what they look like.
Oh, all right.
And with little they look like they're spring-loaded legs on the sides, a button on one side with a light next to it, and an arrow pointing towards where the legs would pop out.
All
It's
right.
she did these fairly professional. There's 5 total successes in design and 3 in construction, and she didn't spend very long on the construction because she just finally got the stuff to make it right after downtime.
All right. He will look them over. What are they supposed to do?
These short circuit the power armor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. How soon can you mass produce these?
How soon do you need them? And also, it'd be a lot easier to mass produce if the public sees them in action, so I have to use less shortcuts.
I don't know when I'll use them or am I will use them
Well,
because
that's why I want to sell them to the triads. Rob a bank, kill an important dude, do something, get attention, get cameras on you, and then toss one of these things at the power armor.
all right.
That'll make it easier for me to mass produce it because they'll all of a sudden become consensual.
All right. Um, I can I can work with you with this because I can see the application here because the technocracy's already made their presence, their bitchy presence known to me at the club here,
Exactly.
and I can get a hold of Ping Mai and uh, uh, work out from there.
Exactly. As far as instructions, these are pretty simple. The button on the side is you press it down once to arm and then again to disarm, and it's really easy to tell which is which. She pushes it down once and the thing starts whirring, and the light next to the button turns green and the button stays down.
All right.
And she pushes the button again and it stops and it goes back off. And the button doesn't stay down now. Yeah. And then you just toss it like a football. It weighs about as much as a football at the thing. And the legs pop out as it lands. And they're magnetized and little neodymium magnets. They stay on the thing and then pump it full of enough microwaves to fry every piece of electronics in the armor.
All right. How much do you want?
Well, let's just say the first one's free, but make a big show of using them. The reason why is if you make a big show of using them, then I can make more.
All right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. How would you like at least a part-time job here at the club? My last head of tech security, well, she met an unfortunate end over at Deepwater with her husband and her stepdaughter.
Well, as far as computer security, I'm not actually a girl. My expertise is in... Well, I can make hardware, but I don't know a dang thing about software.
I don't mind that. You're actually one of the three uh, technomancers that I can be around.
Hmm.
So the job offer is there for the other two. I just can't talk to them for long. Except for Styles, he's okay. It's just we travel in different circles and different times.
All right. Well, I suppose I could do that. Uh, but in addition to whatever you're thinking of paying me, I'm going to ask for a bottle of whiskey a day.
I kind of figured that. I'll already tallied that into your pay
Yeah.
and
And
commission from the orbs from the anti-tech armor.
yeah. Yeah, I call them haywire grenades.
Fitting name. Uh,
Yeah, especially because one of the things you may have to watch out for, because it's mostly hitting the computers but not the actual control systems, is that the armor may go loco.
all right. I also would uh I would appreciate if well some of the mages have already done this. I wouldn't mind your specialty in magic as a ward on the club
Well,
because we
my specialty is forces. If I make a ward on the club for forces, then it's going to be noticeable.
what about the windows?
Mm. It depends. What do you want the windows to do?
Not break,
Because
especially underneath a probably a something that has a high yield explosive uh, akin to a nuclear bomb with maybe
well,
maybe shadowing that.
that'd be that'd be beyond what I could do. I'll tell you what. If you can close the club early, I can actually get to work on that.
Okay.
But I need to
Uh,
make sure no humans are looking.
well, fortunately, this should be last call, and we'll be going into the morning shift, so you should be fine as far as the drunks. And half of those are blitzed anyways because Bill likes to uh, uh, fuck people up and with alcohol as far as well when they're dreamers he likes to do that. With the
Yeah.
mages
Well,
he'll just do that for free.
if they're that drunk, then they shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
It's just
Dimitri.
I can't deal with witnesses to an effect that. Let me put it to you this way: it's coincidental as long as nobody sees it with this one.
Okay.
And coincidental things hurt mages less.
Okay. So apparently, general consensus is y'all are sensitive to that sort of thing, like we are.
Kinda. It's we don't break the rules without consequences. So most of us learn how to bend them, dance around them, you know?
Luckily, from what I hear and seen, when we break the rules or bend them, and our magics just flat out don't work when it's in front of disbelievers or non-dreamers.
Mm. Well,
When I seen Arthur do it, he looks like he gets
yeah.
jacked up by every kind of banality spirit known to man and monkey.
Let me put it to you this way. It works for us. It just then backfires.
Yeah, I got that.
But if your glass windows just so happen to be replaced with diamond sheeting, and she just gives
That,
this big old shrug.
yeah, that works. I'm still trying to, considering last time that the technocracy made their bitchy presence known, it was through the police, and I had to replace all my windows in the club
Oh,
because
yeah, I
they
can
didn't.
totally. Yeah, I can totally do that with the windows. I could even do it with the metal frame of the building
All
because
right,
I call it the Folgers Crystals Road.
nice.
Yeah, it's
If you could also,
we have replaced this man's coffee with Folgers Crystals. So it's as long as nobody sees you do it, I can replace one type of material with another type of material.
nice.
I could
Can you do that
even,
with the?
yeah, I could even in theory do that with the booze, but your booze is okay.
Yeah. Can you do that with the door?
Remind me, is the door like wooden?
Yes. He's a,
Serena will
he's a,
Serena will think on that, and she'll say, "If you buy a metal door, I can make it like a vault door, but making a wooden
oh,
door anything other than a wooden door is tricky because it's too simple. It's too different."
okay. Um, Probably at least with the front door, reinforce it where it could withstand at least a bullet or somebody trying to breaking it down.
Mm.
You
Well, the
have
other
no
thing is
idea.
I don't have enough prime to make an effect permanent, but I can see what I
Out of
can do.
character, I'd have to get with Brett, but if you go into high ritual, you should be okay at least
Even if
for a
I,
few months before you
yeah,
have to recharge.
the most I can do it is 6 months. That is the
Okay.
absolute most you can do without prime 4.
All right. So so I guess your
But
first.
there are things you can make permanent, and those tend to be matter effects, and that's what she's going to be working with is just matter 2.
Right.
So
Uh, he.
with the door, I could make it last better for about 6 months, but I'll need to. If you want anything better than that, I'll need you to replace it with a metal door, or you'll need to wait several years for me to get better at prime.
Uh, I can work out something. I have a. Uh, let's call her my one of my security team, physical security team, or should I say non-physical?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to my cousin. Uh, this place is almost always physically improving itself. It's just need a little extra help and protection
All right.
because she expends a whole lot of power just to affect the physical world.
Well, the physical world's reasonably easy for me to affect. Here, uh, if last call was about 20 minutes ago, their bar should be empty by now.
Yep.
So she's going to go off into each of the windows. She's going to take her little sciencey tools, and she'll go tink tink on the windows one at a time, and lots of rolls incoming. That's going to fail, and she's going to try again. It's matter 2, and she's using her foci, so it's diff
Right.
5. And she's going to try again, goddamn once. And hey,
One.
it works. And so she goes tink tink, tink tink, tink tink. Ah, I see you've gotten the diamond windows. Here, try and break it.
A freaking just uh, pause, does a fist and just hit it, and it doesn't work, and he shakes his head, and because he heard it.
Yeah, this is a car. These are carbon weave windows. They're as if you have taken a thing of diamond, planed it on its weakest angle, and faced its strongest angle facing directly outward.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just as long as nobody strikes it from top to bottom, it should be okay.
Well, if it's just the cops again, I don't think they'll try and strike
I'm
it like
saying
that.
it, unless the building is collapsing, it should be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she's going to go to each window and go, tink, tink. Hey, it works. I'm going to do this a couple more times because you got a lot of windows and I got to do this to one window at a time.
Right.
Tink, tink. Luckily, I only need one success because matter effects are permanent by default. Because if they wore off, then that would be... Well, the thing is if matter effects wore off, then they would be more vulgar. Because someone's likely to see them wear off.
Yeah. This is
Tink, tink.
This is good. Good for Riker. Hire powerful people to be your security team. Oh my god!
So I think that's the windows.
So Brett, that is a total of like 1 million successes on the windows.
Yeah, it's the windows. The windows get done, and then on the door, she's gonna go. Okay, this one's gonna be trickier because this one I can't just alter the matter. I've got to actually affect the forces.
All right.
Unless, how would you feel about tank armor on this window, on this door?
Oh.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean like reactive armor. Like they shoot it and it goes out. It explodes outwards. Because with the right material, I can do that.
That actually works better.
Okay. I'm going to need a bottle of whiskey and 10 empty beer bottles.
He will go over to the bar and basically and go to the recycle bin and get a bottle of whiskey and 10 beer bottles.
All right, I'll be right back. And Sorina is going to hop into her car, drive over to her sanctum, because this is a vulgar effect.
Oh God!
She's going to turn the. She is going to turn the beer bottles into aluminum, and is going to make and turn the whiskey into C4. And is going to make reactive armor packs.
Oh my God! Who did I hire? Nikita? Who did I hire?
So yeah, I've made the aluminum, and it's then I'm gonna do crafts to actually make them the right shape. Bang, 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 and then I'm gonna make the freaking whiskey into explosive, and I'm gonna try again, fucking ones, and I'm gonna try again, fucking fours. Yeah, so now the whiskey is C4.
Awesome.
She's going to have to cut the fucking bottle of whiskey open to get it out, but... and she's going to shove it into the reactive armor packs. And she's going to drive right back, and she's going to have a bunch of trapezoid-shaped packs. And she's going to take out her tools, and she's going to dig in holes for these packs on the inside of the door.
Okay.
And she's going to install these frickin' packs. She's going to say, okay. And then on the final bit on the inside, she's just going to cover it up with, she's just going to use matter 2 to make it so that the inside of the door is titanium.
Nice.
Okay. So the outside looks the same.
Okay.
And she goes, okay. So here's what's going to happen. If they shoot the door, it's going to hit one of these packs and it's going to explode outwards and get rid of the impact. It's not going to last very long.
Nice.
But it will last for a couple of rounds, long enough for the people inside to go diving for cover, especially since they can't get through those windows.
Awesome. Okay. Uh, all right. While we're here, what's your bank information so I can get your payroll set up?
And she'll slide over a debit card.
All right. She will go over to one of the master computers that's around the bar and set you up. All right. Once you get a hold of Styles, I'll do the same thing for him. Just basically, I'll be splitting the position in two. You handle the hardware, he'll handle the software.
Excellent. But yeah, just to let you know where my powers lie, I've got enough prime to make things out of thin air if I really need to. I've
All
got
right.
enough forces to. She's going to look to the left and she's going to look to the right. She's going to say, I'm probably going to regret this. But she reaches out with forces 2, matter 1, and she gets, and there's a bottle of whiskey on the shelf, and it flies for her hand.
Nice.
And now I take Paradox.
Actually, since you're working with the club and your magic's here, it dampened the dock, so you really didn't get that much.
Well, here's the question, though. Does that affect work with etheric science?
As long as you're in the mundane version of the club.
Okay. That's fine then. So
That's basically
yeah,
how they're doing it with mages.
she brings it in, and she gets a nosebleed, and she just wipes it off and goes, "Okay, that was less than I expected." And she just takes the swig.
Well, like I said, the mages have been working with this, so it's been kind of a partial place for y'all too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
y'all didn't.
I can handle the moving of fundamental forces up to the point now that I've finally been able to master enough gravity to do telekinesis.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can all, but I specialize mostly in fire and lightning and things.
Yeah, I've heard you deal with Tesla.
I am Tesla.
Um,
And you think I'm kidding. I'm not.
Does this look like I'm kidding? And he points to a very stone face.
Yeah, she points to her skull and she says, "He's in there." And I finally gotten him to shut up. She says, putting the whiskey back down on the bar. Having your past lives constantly yammering in your goddamn ear. And one of them's Nikola goddamn Tesla.
Well, we have something like that. It's just not specific. It's specifically our past lives, but it's I get
You've got a
this.
continuous life with multiple incarnations, as I understand.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no. Mages have a thing called an avatar. And it's the thing that teaches us how to use magic. And in having it, when we die, as long as we don't die in a stupid way or in a stupid place, it moves on to another mage. And this is why we don't like the Tremere, because they killed their avatars. And we don't like the Nefandi because they damaged their avatars. And they made it so other mages get damaged avatars later. Stuff like that. Yeah, the last guy who had my avatar was Tesla, and his memories came with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can remember his life pretty damn clearly. So for all intents and purposes, I am Tesla.
All right. I've hired. This is kind of ironic. Lord of the Rings is hired Nikola Tesla.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Frodo, here's to you. And she takes another swig.
Just one word of caution. There's a new. Well, I one of my what you would call. Uh, I believe my cousin called y'all traditions. Y'all's group's traditions. A tradition mate. Uh, well, cousin is here in the city. He's a throwback to a bygone wartime era, and needless to say, he's I don't know how he's back, considering he got to the point where he enjoyed what he did,
And you're sure
and
this is a tradition
um,
mage?
uh, it's one of my people. I'm just giving you using one of your terms.
Well, you don't bother using our terms, because if you use our terms while I'm drinking, then I'm gonna latch on to the wrong words.
Okay. One of what he's another she.
Okay.
Uh, he he he's was one of our best torturers from a bygone wartime era,
Which war
and
are we
he got
talking
I
about?
don't one you probably didn't know. It's I've
Try
heard
try me. Tesla's heard of a bunch of them.
the I don't I just, the Kithane versus the Adhene.
Hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah, that's why I said you probably didn't hear of it. He's one of he was one of our best wartime torturers, and I don't know how he's back, considering he got to the point where he enjoyed what he did a little bit too much.
So is the rough equivalent of one of you going to Fandy.
Yeah, and needless to say, I've given a standing order to my bouncers, and this one I'll give to you and Styles if he joins in. Uh, Basically, he is to be washed and strip searched because him, above all others, is not allowed ever to have a weapon.
Okay.
Because he actually sat there and when I first met him at a park here,
Well, if
he
he's got a weapon in the physical world, I can find it on him.
uh, hopefully if he is strip searched, you shouldn't have one, but I still want to have him watched because even his hands can be weapons.
Okay.
Which, which ironically, when I first met him over at a park, was his boy toy, who is actually a part of a group that could have been the basis for Frodo. Um, he actually pinned his hand to a table, stabbing it through and through to the table,
Okay.
and let him had just wrap the freaking wound up and let it bleed because he enjoyed it a lot. And when say enjoy it, it's more like how people enjoy the accompaniment of my girls from the brothel or my strippers.
At that, Serena's going to start washing her hands. Because,
Yeah.
yay, you said a keyword and you triggered her OCD. Yay! Um, Now she's doing that with a moist towelette from her jacket. She goes, "Okay, so
He he passes you another gigantic pack of them. Here,
she
include these.
she
I'll
says,
include these.
no, I get them off Amazon these days. You can get them restaurant wholesale.
All right.
Yeah, apparently Amazon thinks I run a soul food restaurant.
Uh, One thing I do ask, though, on a side note,
Yeah,
you and Styles asked me before you touched the light fixtures because those are not normal light fixtures.
you should tell me what they are because if I have to defend this place, then I may be drawing power from them.
Um, well, that's fine because I give a standing thing that the mages that I know can use it. Um, right now you can pull at least at max up to 4 units per day.
She shakes her head. She says, "No, no, no. I mean, you're telling me they're nothing but raw magic."
Yes, and out of character roll prime site.
Well, she's not turning prime sight on because she figures if she does in this room, it's just going to glow.
um, Sort of. It's kind of hard to explain, but I know y'all can convert my magic to yours.
Some of us can.
Um,
I'd need to, as I did some research,
mhm.
and this is me mostly saying out of character, but having enough mage lore as I do, I'd be able to figure it out reasonably easy.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd need to learn the mind sphere to convert your magic to mine. But as long as you're telling me that there's no electricity in those light fixtures, that is important. Okay?
There's electricity going through everywhere else but the light fixtures.
Good. Because uh, she's going to look over and she's going to say, here's $50 because I'm going to demonstrate something.
All right.
If I'm defending the bar, she's going to take out a little piece of sciencey gizmo from her jacket and she's going to fiddle with the dials a little bit. And she says, and someone was walking by that wall, I might do something like this. And she's going to have to try again. There we go. She then turns the dial all the way to the high end, and the neon light explodes.
Okay. Ouch.
Yeah, because when you convert all the electricity into heat,
Well, there's electricity running through everywhere else but the light fixtures.
right?
Uh,
But that's good to know because
yeah,
that limits what I can do stuff like that with.
right.
And there's $50 that should replace that.
Awesome. Um, Otherwise, my cousin wouldn't be able to run his DJ equipment. We wouldn't have live performances. We wouldn't be able to clock in, pointing to the POS system.
Yeah, it's if I'm defending this place, I will try to. I'm going to be trying to do things coincidental. Oh, and by the way, since I'm an employee now, can Sirloin let me keep my antique?
Um, yes. Um,
Good. I
how
never
big
really.
is it?
It's pretty big. Here, I'll show you. And she'll go out the front
All
to
right.
the weapon check bin. She'll just pop it open, and it's a big honking backpack. She's going to say, "This is
Oh,
my primary means of defending this place."
okay. Uh, we can keep it behind the bar.
It shouldn't leave my person.
Okay.
The reason being is it would take me too long to get it on if I need to defend this place, and if that's part of my duties.
All right.
Yeah, it's a light.
Um,
She puts the thing on. She says it's a lightning cannon.
he just stopped for a second. Okay then. Um,
She pulls the ripcord, and the cloth on the outside of the backpack falls down. It's only connected at the bottom now. It's just sort of
okay.
hanging down, and it looks like a steampunk lightning cannon with a giant backpack-mounted generator. It looks kind of like a cross between Ghostbusters and on the side there's a plaque in bronze, and it says Teleforce prototype Nikola Tesla 1931.
Nice. Okay.
And she takes the gun part off the side, and she cocks it, and it goes Veer!
Oh, God. Yeah, uh, you can, but I don't know how often it will come to that because you'll be more inside the club instead of the front.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
You'll
is
be more last line of defense.
yeah, she puts the thing away, and she says, if I'm at any line of defense, this is my primary means of doing it, because this here just barely is coincidental,
Okay.
because there's
Yeah,
only one magical component of the damn thing.
you can keep it. I give you a hint. They're not actually not carrying heat, so to speak.
I figure, but if I'm here, I'm going to carry the heat that I'm comfortable with, you know.
Right.
And
Uh,
I wouldn't know the first thing about a gun, but you put this thing in my hands, and Tesla's memories take over.
Understandable. Give you another hint. What they do, the bouncers do carry, well, at least for the changelings, they they're more gnarly to my sight than yours.
That's fine. That
Well,
I figured.
normal.
I've been told that you handle things in another place.
I can help you see that place if you want, but then again, I
I've been told
don't
that I'll
think
forget
you
it.
want to.
I've been told that I'll forget that after you do that. I'm not sure if Tesla
Um,
will, though.
yeah, and also, you could walk right into my freehold and never forget it again. But then again, you'll go even more insane.
Meh. She takes another swig of whiskey. I don't think it's possible at this point beyond losing all my faculties.
Um, if you talk with Michael Springfield from the Order of Hermes, he could possibly teach you a way to do it yourself.
If
But
oh,
you'll still be running into
I need to learn a lot of mine to do that.
yeah, you'll still be running into the memory loss, except for possibly Tesla.
Well, by the time I hit that point of mind, there's some ways I can fiddle around with it. Like I could make my thoughts automatically be recorded in a journal or something.
That works. Too. I've been working with one of the triad. He's my son's dreamer. Well, I
Mhm.
could say he's somewhat mine too as well because uh, he works with me. Ping Mai, I told him writing stuff down when my magics or enchantment comes involved. It works best to have you remember, but you'll still be going, what the fuck? What was I on?
Yeah, when you hit the technocracy, I need you to not use those because we need people to remember what happened so that it enters the consensus. In fact, I'm willing to help with that. she
All
says,
right.
patting her backpack. If you give me a time and a date and a place to show up, I can make a very big flashy light show.
Knowing this place, it wouldn't be too long before they start being froggy, and you'll get your chance.
All right.
Uh,
Either way, just let me know. I can probably have another dozen by next week. But to produce them any faster, um, I'd need a I'd need to make it so I need to use less magic, which means we need this thing to go down on like national TV,
awesome.
something that they can't cover up.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll set up a meeting with Team Mai and get these get you these to him.
Yeah, you can practice. You can practice with these. They don't burn out after a use,
All right.
but I wouldn't recommend recovering them from a battlefield.
Probably not the wisest plan.
But yeah, you just throw them like footballs.
Right. Uh, which with Sirloin could mean and my son could mean from here to the door, or here to the side of the baseball field, or here to the coast.
Well, Abe for here to them because if they impact too hard, then they don't work.
All right. I'll make sure to point that out.
Yeah, they're basically a microwave oven.
Yeah. Uh,
So yeah, it's I basically took the magnet the magna gun in a microwave oven, the thing that produces the microwaves,
right.
and I hooked it up to a capacitor, which I had to use a capacitor so that it could let out all of its power quickly. And the capacitor unleashes all of its energy as soon as the spring triggers these. She says she taps the top of it, and the arms go ka-chunk, which means that it's attached in theory.
All right.
And she pops them back down and puts it back in the case. And then yeah, it just dumps microwaves pulsed at a very specific frequency to try to bypass any microwave absorbency in the armor,
All right.
because it makes the armor resonate the microwaves and actually produce them.
Right.
Resonance
Now,
frequencies are a bitch. I recall
yeah.
Tesla making that freaking earthquake generator. She just shakes her
Oh
head.
God.
Yeah, it was an accident. He wasn't trying to make it. He was trying to make a device that could hit the resonant frequency of steel and cut through it. But the problem was is that it was bolted. The steel beam he was using was bolted to a steel clamp that was bolted to one of the steel beams that was holding his building up.
Nice.
And it ended up shaking the whole goddamn building.
Nice. You do realize the people of my house were watching that intently.
I don't realize that. Tesla had very limited interaction with you people.
Well, considering how banal he was, we kind of were watching
He
from
was only
afar.
he was only a little bit more banal than me.
Well, yeah, he was. Well, considering how close to banality of organization he was,
That's
we were
true. He was a member of the technocracy for most of his life.
yeah we were watching from afar, so to speak,
Yeah.
just lapping up the glamour when we could get a chance close encounter with him.
Yeah. You guys should have expended your efforts on Einstein and Edison.
What makes you think we weren't watching him too?
Well, the problem is that Einstein was a technocracy shill.
Yeah.
The final nail in the coffin that destroyed the ether and made it so science had to be reductionist and no longer wondrous was his goddamn theory. And she swigs the fucking whiskey again.
uh, uh, okay. Just give you a heads up. If we actually acted against Edison, it would have been more along the lines of taking his life.
That probably would have helped.
But we were more geeking out from afar, just watching his experiments.
The problem is all of his experiments were reductionist and derivative. And
Yeah,
yet he gets all
and
the damn credit, and Tesla gets relegated to the history books. And she takes another swig.
why we didn't watch him that much as we did with Tesla.
Yeah, you should have taken down Einstein.
Yeah, but you got to think that would have been too big of a limelight hit, and he would have been that would have been too noticeable of a kill.
If you did it right, you could have made nukes impossible.
Right. Uh, but also we're bound by one particular rule. Do not affect a person's ability to dream.
The thing is that Einsteinian relativity destroys the wonders within science. If it wasn't for the fact, and she's slurring because she's in a drunken stupor at this point.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that we managed to plant our own shill in the form of Niels Bohr, then the technocracy would have won by 1950. You realize that?
Yes, I understand that, but
Yeah, if it wasn't for quantum mechanics, then we'd all be living in the Disneyland version of Earth. Because
right,
technocracy would keep it under nice, clean lock and key.
right. The considering considering that rule, we were kind of in a debate on what to do with him. We
The,
couldn't.
the thing is that he posited a universe that was clockwork and nobody had any real choice. And if it wasn't for
Yeah,
quantum mechanics, then that would be the universe.
right. Yeah, and when we started trying to get back here, or and well, and we got in contact with our siblings and cousins on a little bit closer to Earth, it was way too late for us. Considering by the time we fully came back here in force, Neil Armstrong's actually set physical foot on the moon.
Mm. You know, Etherites were on the moon 100 years earlier, and it would have been constant trips to the moon. You could buy a fucking ticket to the moon today if they hadn't destroyed the ether.
I did not know that.
Yeah. In fact, I'm an airman in the Royal Ether Nautical Society. We have a charter from Queen Victoria to explore space.
Awesome.
Yeah. And she takes another swig of whiskey. And now We have to risk paradox every time we step from this world to the ether world.
Youch.
It used to be what space was made of. Everything was better in those days. Swig.
At this time, he will actually help Serena up, and
I'm gonna keep drinking. Swig.
uh, he will grab a bottle of whiskey and take it with us, and take her upstairs to a three-room in the apartment. He is not enchanting her, so she'll be in a physical, um, unused apartment unless she wants to start renting it out.
No, she's fine. It's just she's being all ornery and angry drunk. Especially since all of her memories are fucking up with Tesla's memories, and it's like
Right.
she's Tesla's been to space, she hasn't.
Uh-huh. Um, he's basically, it's a furnished apartment. This is mostly where his money's been invested in.
Yeah.
Um,
At this point, if she ends up getting an honorary knighthood with the changeling, she's going to be cirrhosis.
cirrhosis, right? Uh-huh.
But
He'll
yeah, it's she's still swigging booze left and right.
Yeah, he will sit her down on the couch in the living room until he sees her get a little bit too far gone to be talking, and she's starting to pass out.
Yeah, she's gonna keep ranting about all the wonders and accomplishments of stuff, and she does end up passing out. But I'm gonna say this for the sake of drama.
Uh-huh.
She actually has a Royal Aeronautical Society card fall out of her wallet as she passes out.
He actually will take out his cell phone and take a picture of it, and so it'd be in his phone.
Hey, guess
But
what? That picture ends up blank. It can't be photographed because
oh,
they're smart that way.
he'll jot the
But
contact.
you can jot it down
Yeah,
if you pick it up. The ink says different things if you look at it from two different angles.
he will pick it up as he's trying to get her up and to take her to the bedroom.
Yep, and she'll flop down on the bed, but it lists her name and rank when you look at it in one way, and if you look at it the other way, it has a motto in Latin, which I will bring up. Give me a moment. Google Translate. Give me the thing.
Give her the thing.
Come on, Google Translate. I need it English to Latin. Exploratio quales perit ita ut invenientur. And a quick place of that into Google Translate will say, exploring what was lost so it may be found.
Interesting.
Yep.
Is there a phone number?
No, no, there's no phone number. It's
Oh, all right.
It's an identification badge for a mate society. You think they think they're going to be in the phone book?
No.
No, it's all it lists is her Serena Novak, airman, professor, and that motto.
Okay.
And it's got a logo of a cogwheel with wings.
He'll put it down on the bedside table and the bottle of booze.
Yep.
Some of Arthur's super weed. a bag of it on the bedside table as well because well Riker's been gone into business with him, so he at least has some of that stock in stock.
EA.
Um, he will go well. Serena Novak, ether of the ether. Welcome to the Emerald Mother. And with that, I think we can end the scene.
Yep.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you for watching. Yes, I saw you. I saw you flash there. Uh, you couldn't hide from me. Um, today, Frodo meets Nikola Tesla. How this work is going to work out, we don't know. And still, the progenitors are on the no-bone list.
Yeah, the progenitors are on the no-bone list.
I swear that list keeps growing and growing and growing.
Well, the ultimate no-bone list says Fomori.
That too, and drones. Don't forget
No, you can
drones,
bone drones. They won't appreciate you, but you can bone them.
right? If any, with that, we can we'll end our scene here. They see ya.